slogan. What did you want to say?
My suggestion was Open Washington Now, but...
Open Washington Now. If you guys are down, if you have another idea, feel free to speak it out. We were thinking of marching down. So it's like whoever has a flag, that would probably be the ideal. Maybe a flag on each end or just one. So yeah, whatever you guys want to suggest, please feel free. And thanks for bringing this thing too. Yep. Very convenient. Okay. So suggestions. Please let me know your suggestions now before we start.
Does anybody want a mask? I have about 6 left. Do you want us to wear masks?
Miserable.
Like,
I'm girlfriend Ellie want to wear a mask.
Well, I said it suffocates us and takes it off.
Miserable.
I'm old. I'll start breathing too hard. I ain't doing that.
Yeah, I'm old too.
These are a good point. What was your point?
So my husband said that he suggested I wear a mask because if we follow the 6-feet rule, wear a mask, so we're following their rules, so we want them to open our state. They might listen to us versus just saying, oh, you guys don't think there's a threat, you're silly. So if you like when I have them, if you don't want to wear it, it's completely up to you.
I have a mask, but I can put it on.
But it's not that. It's a free country. Let's do what you want. It's right here, right?
Just like the veil.
Whenever we want to gather, to our ability to earn a living. Okay? Those are all constitutionally protected liberties that are in blatant violation right now by the governor's stay-at-home orders. What we want is our local county government, our county commissioners, to show a spine and tell the governor, we are not a problem in Kitsap. We are not running wild with infections. We are not having people die at any measurable rate. We are people who are being held hostage to King County. And we do not want that to happen. We want sensible measures that allow people to go about their day. Okay? I go to Walmart. I go to Home Depot. I go to Winco. And I'm not sick. And none of the people who are working there are sick. Why? Because we're sensible, we're adults, and we have the liberty to take care of ourselves. Let us get back to work. Let us figure out the solutions that government is incapable of providing to us. We are a creative, innovative people. We know how to create solutions.
And we have a model with Sweden now.
And we have a model with Sweden. We have the ability to adapt our situation, our lives, our experiences in a way that government never can. And what's the number one reason? Because most of the people in government have never had to have a real job.
Amen.
They've never had to run a business by themselves. They've never had to have the experience of having their check, their livelihood, their meal on their table for themselves or their children come from anywhere other than taxpayer money.
Amen.
All we are asking for is the ability to be free people. Give us our constitutional liberties.
Yes.
Give us the right, the ability to live our lives. That doesn't mean that we're going to run around and having, parties where we're just going to live it up and try and get people sick. That means that we're going to go to work. That means that we're going to continue to have electronic meetings if we can and where we can. It means that if you want to wear a mask because you feel it necessary, you're going to. That's freedom. And that's what we are asking for. That's what we are demanding. We want the freedom to open Kitsap County back up and let people get back to work.
Yes.
Yes.
That should be our slogan. These people have authority to open Kitsap. Not the state, but they could open Kitsap.
Open Kitsap.
Open Kitsap. That should be our slogan.
That's a sound they should hear.
This is a bad deal, but most of the bad deal is sitting over in Seattle and Everett and places like that. Over here where we have a freedom to get out and walk around. It's okay.
And that's another great point, right? We all wanted to help our fellow people, didn't we?
Yeah.
At the beginning of this, when the news is breaking, we heard people were getting sick. We saw this. We saw the statistics. We saw the infection rates, and we wanted to help. We all said, "Okay, what do I need to do? How can I help?" And we all decided to do things to help. At the very beginning of this, I got a cold. I decided I gotta stay home because I don't know. And I stayed home for 14 days. I self-quarantined. I didn't need a governor's order to tell me to do it. I didn't need government to tell me to do it. I made a decision in the best interest of my fellow man. We are capable of doing that. Now we have new information, don't we? Now we see that maybe those numbers weren't quite what we thought they were going to be. We flattened the curve. We've done things that they've asked us to do, and it's worked. Now we're asking, fulfill your promise, government. You said flatten the curve and we can get back to work. Well, the curve's flattened. Let us get back to work. Fulfill your promise. Reopen Kitsap. 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 Sure.
It's 1:14. So, do we want to do the road, or do we want to be like obnoxious and do it in the road in the street, or should we? Well, no, there's kids. We can't go kids.
You want to block that?
I know.
Why don't we go up one side and back down the other?
Okay, we'll do the sidewalks then, of course. Okay, all right. Who's got a flag? You, sir, do you mind leading?
Out in front.
And whoever wants to line up, we'll all just get in line here.
Sorry if it wags you, I'm trying to keep up.
You mean Bezos and patriotism?
Amen, brother. Reopen Kitsap.
What's that? Reopen Kitsap. Reopen Kitsap. Reopen Kitsap. Reopen Kitsap. Reopen Kitsap. Reopen Kitsap.
Pretty good. Bob Brown, suck luck.
I used to say that.
Reopen Kitsap. Reopen Kitsap. Reopen Kitsap. Reopen Kitsap. Reopen Kitsap.
Reopen Kitsap. Reopen Kitsap. Reopen Kitsap. Reopen Kitsap. Reopen Kitsap.
Reopen Kitsap. Reopen Kitsap. Reopen Kitsap. Reopen Kitsap. Reopen Kitsap. Reopen Kitsap. Reopen Kitsap. Reopen Kitsap. Reopen Kitsap. Reopen Kitsap. Reopen Kitsap. Reopen Kitsap. Reopen Kitsap. Reopen Kitsap.
Reopen Kitsap. Reopen Kitsap. Kitsap.
We're doing it because we want our liberties back. We want our Constitution back. Never underestimate the power of doing these types of things, regardless of the numbers that show up. Because this happens all the time. You never know who else is watching. You never know who is peeking out of their office windows right now, paying attention to what we're doing. Who might be agreeing with us, but they can't speak up because they're afraid of what their friends are going to say. They're afraid of what their employer is going to say. Actually, so I self-quarantined myself at the beginning of this thing. I'm on a self-quarantine from work right now because someone saw me at the rally down in Olympia, didn't like what I was doing, was afraid I was going to infect everyone at work, and so they sent me home for another 14-day paid vacation. We cannot allow fear to dictate what we do, okay? The revolution was fought at the height of the smallpox epidemic. Our founders, when they wrote both the Declaration of Independence and fought the war, and then when they framed our Constitution, they understood the risks inherent in living. And that liberty, if it needed to be defended, meant hazarding those risks, no matter what they are. Whether the risk is someone pointing a gun at you and saying comply, or the risk is an unseen virus that is indiscriminate in the way that it attacks. Liberty must always be defended against all hazards. One of the other things that was amazing is that among those 4,500 people were Democrats, were people on the left who don't normally come out for these things. How many here have been to political rallies before? A few. How many of you, maybe this is your first or second time? Thank you.
Hello.
Awesome.
Thank you, Naomi. This is a lot better. I don't have to yell as much. So, first or second time coming out to these things. Why? Why is this the first or second time?
Because to me, this is this is ground level. They have no basis for what they're doing.
They have no basis for what they're doing?
This is the first time in my life as an American that the government has unilaterally stepped on our civil liberties.
Okay.
Had I known about the Olympia rally, I would have gone to it.
Okay. But this isn't what we do normally, is it? This isn't our modus operandi. This isn't our default. We aren't the protesting type. We're not the ones that get out in the streets because we believe in a process, right? We believe in elective politics. We believe in electing the right people, and those people then making the right choices to respect the Constitution. The problem is those people that we put in there in those places of trust have failed us. They have absolutely failed us. And at this point, unfortunately, it's not just a Democrat-Republican thing. Okay? Every single level of government that is allowing this to happen, unopposed, unabated, and sometimes even with their permission, is guilty and culpable of the violations of our civil liberties that are happening right now. So if this is your first time getting involved, please do not lose that fire of being involved. Please do not say, if they back down, we win, and I can go back to my normal life. Stay involved. Stay engaged. Find your candidates. Find your leaders. Get them on the phone. Get them face to face. Talk to them. Engage with them. Get them to understand your problems, your situation, and make them understand unequivocally that your liberty is not to be sacrificed under any circumstances. Amen. And under no conditions of fear. And with that, my voice is getting tired. So if anyone else wants to come up here and take the mic and speak their mind, and let anyone who's listening hear your frustration.
Coronavirus.
Hi, I'm Rick Thompson. This is the first time doing this. I spent time in the Navy and served this country. I believe in this country. Worked my whole life. Worked my whole life. About 4 years ago, I got involved in starting reading the Constitution. If you haven't, buy the book, read it, understand it. And all these people that's elected officials, it's our right to go into their office and say, I want to see your books for this office. I want to see your personal books. Because that's what the Constitution is about. Us making sure that they understand we have a right, and we're going to enforce that right on you now. They don't like it. The IRS sure don't like it whenever I talk to them about it. But we need to go back and make sure that the people up in these offices understand every elected official they have to answer to us. We are the government. Not them, we. And this is the time that they have finally, they've just overstepped their bounds. There's so much data out there that the World Health Center, they really wrote this whole thing wrong. If you've not looked up on the computer, Event 201, you need to look that up. What is happening today is a exercise. Event 201 actually talks about the COVID-19 exercise. It was 2018 when they started this, and this is what we're coming up with. If you haven't looked that up, look at it, because in the little deal up there, it says exercise. So I've never done this before, but there's a point that you have to just stand up and say enough's enough. And that's all there is to it. So that's all I have to say. Okay?
Yeah.
All right.
Sorry, this is a little bit tragic. My name's Naomi Evans. I know some of you, some not. Can you hear me okay? And I'm just going to yell. So I'm curious, how many of you have emailed or written or called any of your local officials? Raise your hand. My husband. Can you hear me in the back?
Yeah.
You're good? I'll just yell. So if you haven't, you need to do that. That's a really important part of being a citizen activist, is emailing, calling your representatives, even the commissioners. The commissioners have the authority and the power to overrule this right now. I think that's one of the reasons that we're here. I don't think that that's happening too much. The sheriff has an ability to actually put an end to this. So there's a reason that we have so many levels of government. It's to put a stop to things that are trickling down from the top. We have one out-of-control asshole named Jay Ensley at the top who thinks he's king, who's put half of us out of business. I'm a barber. I haven't been able to work since March 17th.
Support small business too.
That's right, I'm a small business owner. Obviously, Ensley's getting his hair cut somewhere. Recently, he put something on his Facebook about Trudy cutting his hair, which was pretty hysterical since she was holding the shears completely backwards. But I mean, he knows he's guilty, right? Anyway, please email your commissioners, the sheriff, everybody. Unfortunately, I recently talked to Representative Michelle Caldeer. She said that basically the Republicans feel like they're outnumbered. I was not satisfied with her response. Basically, I just feel like they're pussing out and they're saying we're outnumbered, so we're not going to do anything. There's only a select few of them that are actually standing up to this and voicing their opinion, like Matt Shea over in Spokane. But you look at different counties, I think it's Franklin County, that their county commissioners actually did say, go back to work. I mean, our county commissioners could do the same damn thing. So put pressure on them. Elections are coming up, and they're all looking at this scared if they're going to get reelected or not. That's why they're not doing anything, but this is the time that they should do something. I can't believe how much has actually happened just in 2 months. All of the overstep of our liberties and our freedom is insane. We are living in Nazi Germany right now, and if you're not terrified, you sure as hell should be.
Damn
This
right.
is socialism. This is what they're teaching these kids today.
Yeah.
And these kids need to look at what this is. This is socialism.
You want to talk?
And so
Yeah.
people need to look at this, and the kids need to well, do I want to live like this for the rest of my life?
No, this is working very well. Sorry.
My father was county commissioner here during the 70s for 12 years.
Can't hear it.
He was the one who brought in Trident. He was the one who brought in the freeways and basically made Kitsap what it is right now. He would be rolling over in his grave if he saw what the county commissioners were allowing to happen. Let's try to remember, if we can, our sheriffs. Our sheriffs are potentially our most important lifeline. Who are they elected by?
Us.
Us. Who are they beholding to?
Us.
Us. If the feds come in and try to mess with us, who can throw those feds in jail? The sheriff. Because the commissioners, they run this area, not the feds, nobody else. Do not let them tell you what you can and cannot do. Your First Amendment rights trump whatever words they have, always. 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 And it's up to us to remember the price of our freedom is eternal vigilance. We have forgotten that. If we forget it again, we'll go through this again. Give us liberty or give us death isn't now, but it could be very soon if we allow them to tell us that without a vaccine we can't leave our home, we can't get in our cars, we can't visit our grandmothers, we can't go to school, we can't cross state lines, we can't buy food, whatever it may be. We have written permission, signed by none other than Thomas Jefferson, and some of the greatest men who ever lived. Are we all together?
Yes.
Yes. All right. More will come. Stick it out.
Is it working?
Yeah.
I'm Paul Carter. I live just up the road from here, and the local Kitsap guy here. I just want to also remember that there's a huge population that's afraid right now. You know, they look at us and they get angry because they think that we're doing something bad. You know, they're being told a lot of information that's not good, not accurate, not sometimes with bad intentions, sometimes not. And I think it's a really important thing not just to talk to your lawmakers. I don't want to call them leaders. We're the leaders, but not only talk to the legislators, not only talk to the representatives, but also to your individual neighbors, the people that you know, and try to explain that it's not the numbers that are being purported that are even accurate. You know, you can't get a death count from the numbers they have. It's not true. The information that's coming down the pike is not true. The models that they've created have not been accurate. None of the information has been any good at all. But now we have some new information that's been coming out. We have some new data that's been coming out that is good, that shows that there are some promising things that we can do. That, like you were saying, the curve has been flattened, and we can open. And we can do it safely, and we can do it smartly, and we can care about our neighbors and our old people that are most at risk. All those people can be cared about, cared for, and they don't need to be afraid. This isn't a scary thing that we're doing here, and it's really important for us to show individuals that, to let them see that what they're hearing and all these numbers, they're not good, they're not true, and we don't need to be afraid.
I would just like to say that Jay Ensley was hired to protect our constitutional rights. That is the oath that he took. And they have been, and he's got a stranglehold on him. And he's saying it's because there's an emergency. Well, we were asked to flatten the curve. And we did flatten the curve. The curve is flattened.
Stop
and
flat.
now it's time to give us our rights back. Because we did what they asked, but now they're not just asking us. They're demanding and they're threatening. And this is not what he was hired for. And so I would like Jay Inslee to do his job.
Be marching through offices and
I don't need no microphone, but I just want to say one thing.
I read this document before I came here this morning, and I noticed something real important. It said, "We the people," not "we the sheeple." We have this document, and it contains your rights. And they've been walking all over it. That's all I got to say.
you didn't end your oath when you made it, did you? No. Nope.
It hasn't expired.
Nope. That oath is not expired.
Did not say that whenever I walked out.
Get out of it when I reach room temperature.
Yeah.
When my eyes pop, you know I'm done.
That's exactly it.
just like my marriage, it's the best to us part.
I just want to say that
I think you don't have it. It's not
do I have your attention? One of the things that's most striking for me is the lack of transparency. Every day or every other day we see Inslee talk about the many metrics, the many statistics that they're looking at. I don't know who this tiger team of statisticians and doctors is that he's colluding with to make these decisions. I don't know what his plan is. There's no transparency in what number are we looking at that says we can go back to work. Is it the hospitals are overrun? Well, Quest Field was torn down in a week without being used, so I think we can check that one off. Is it the curve is flattened? Well, the data they show us on television, the curve is flattened. Is it a decline? Well, again, the numbers that he's sheepishly showing in his background shows the decline. Is it we don't have enough tests now? Well, how many tests do we need? What's the plan for getting those tests, and what's the ETA on getting those tests? Without ever saying what the goal is, he keeps moving the goalpost. And that's infuriating. Like, what is the plan? We have a right to know. This has got an impact on all of us, bigger than anything we've ever seen in our lifetime. There should be more than a 5-minute, many metrics we're looking at. Snow job on television. Like, what is it?
You know, he always makes these speeches, but not one time have you ever seen him with a mask on.
Yeah.
That's right. If it's that bad, why ain't he wearing one?
Yeah.
And furthermore, like I hear him many times, we're not date driven, we're science and data driven. And then you hear, if I see too many people at the park, or if I see too many people at the beach, we're gonna shut it back down. Well, where does that align with science and data? That sounds to me like a subjective opinion being imposed on his decision making. So
herd immunity, man, herd immunity.
Dictatorship.
Work for Sweden. Yeah. They didn't do anything. They didn't have any more than we did.
As long as we're locked down in our houses, we don't really get the herd immunity.
Exactly. You can't get enough vitamin D, etc., to get yourself healthy, keep yourself up.
So I have a degree in mathematics from Washington State University, and I used to teach math, algebra at Central Kitsap High School back in 2014, 2015, before I had my son. So I'd say I have a pretty good understanding of exponential growth. You would expect the numbers to go from 2 to 4 to 8 to 64 to 64 times 64. We started out this lockdown with 2 cases. We've gone to 100. That is nowhere near exponential growth. That is, I would not even really call that linear growth. So we have done our part in Kitsap to flatten the curve. And so I see no reason now why we're causing economic damage to way more people than would be damaged by this virus. My family has the privilege of being able to work from home. We'll be able to survive this. My friends and my neighbors, the people in my church, the people in my community, they're not so lucky. We need to all band together. I'm here today because I believe that we are all one county and we all need to open back up, because I cannot see my friends and neighbors hurt by something that was not even the health threat that they made it out to be here in our county. One size fits all does not fit our state, as geographically diverse as it is. Why can't Eastern Washington get back to work? Why can't the coastal counties get back to work? Why can't we get back to work? Because Snohomish, Pierce, and King County have a problem? It doesn't make sense to me. Now, I am a praying person. I go to Calvary Chapel in Silverdale, and I would also very much remind all of you who are praying people to continue to pray and petition at the feet of the Lord, because He is the one who is in control of the situation, and He is the one who will be able to work it for the good of people who are called according to His purpose, as it says in Romans 8:28. So if you'd like to stay after this rally and pray with me, I will be doing that for about 20-30 minutes after the rally. You're welcome to stay and pray with me, because I think that is where we will really change things. Of course, political activism is important. Of course, do your part, write your letters, come to protest, but don't forget what really and truly who is in control of the situation. Thank you. Thank you.
I'd like to
point out we're in a liberal democratic state. However, the President of the United States has put forth guidelines for reopening the economy. His suggestion is that we look at the data county by county. Some places like King County, maybe it doesn't make sense. So they have so many numbers, the actual number of cases or deaths.
This is about exposure.
It's like a flu season.
About exposure. You have
but here in Kitsap County, we've had 2 deaths. One of them was a lady in hospice, and the other one is questionable if it should have been counted as a COVID. Every other day they get a couple of people that test positive and are been sick from this. And all the studies with antibody testing of actual populations, whether it's homeless groups or prisons or people going into Walmart, they find a great many people have antibodies for it. They had something that for them was no worse than a momentary cold, and they are past it. My wife and I had a doozy of a cold in late February. We were coughing for 3 weeks. But it's certainly never bad enough to go in and get tested for it. So the numbers indicate that if you are unfortunate enough to get this virus, you're no more likely than any flu season to actually die from it. My wife and I recall losing young, healthy friends about 10 years ago in one of the flu epidemics. It was actually attacking healthy young people. But the healthier you were, the more it attacked you. In this case, the older folks, I'm not far from it. Ma'am, I think you're slightly ahead of me. You should be protected from those who could be carrying it. So, in some cases, isolation or stay at home makes sense. For the rest of us, it's destroying livelihoods. It's kicking us into a bit of an economic depression. And as has been alluded, one really has to wonder in the big picture of things, is some of this by design, or is it just being taken advantage of by opportunists that really want to change things politically at enormous cost to the country and just don't really care about the citizens? So with that in mind, this November we got big elections. The old Governor Inslee is up for election. Every U.S. congressperson is. Several senators. Remember this. Who took advantage of the situation and tried to get us out of it and back to a functioning economy. And make your choice. I hope it turns out different in Washington than it is now. Democrats are scared, they should be.
County Commissioner seat will be open for this November. I heard Charlotte Garrido is not running.
Oh. To my knowledge, there are two of our 3 commissioners are up for election this November. Position 2, which is Charlotte Garrido's spot, and position 1, which is at North Kitsap, being Bainbridge Island. I guess they're part of our county, even though they don't act like it.
Somebody's always proud to go against our position 2 commissioners.
What's that?
We already got some of you proud to replace those District 2 commissioners.
Well, we've got at least one gentleman that I know threw his hat into the ring, Marcus Carter.
That's
I don't know
right.
if you know his name, but he, along with his wife, owns the Kitsap Rifle and Revolver Club. Maybe you've gone shooting there, but not in the last several years because the county has got them shut down for the last several years because people moved next to a gun range and were surprised and annoyed that there was gunfire. And they complained and they won and they got that shut down. He has thrown his hat into the ring to replace Charlotte Garrido as one of our county commissioners. I'm going to be personally supporting him, and I invite you all to look into his campaign as well. Elected politics is how we do change this ultimately. All right, and don't think that any position is too small or too insignificant. All right, every possible seat that is open needs to be filled with a candidate. Needs to be filled with a candidate that believes in the Constitution, that believes in individual liberty, that believes in our own state constitution. People are so shocked and surprised to find out that Article 1, Section 1 of the Washington State Constitution explicitly states that the entire and sole purpose of government is to protect and maintain individual rights. It's not to create social network programs and social safety nets. It's not to create extravagant building projects for whatever hospital wants to come in and outbill us. It is to protect and maintain individual rights. And it is failing. It is failing because we have elected people who are failing to uphold their oaths. One of those people, I hate to say it, is our sheriff right now, Sheriff Simpson. He has the power to end this in Kitsap. He has the power to stand up and the authority to stand up and say, not in my county. My county is a free county. So maybe we should migrate over in front of Sheriff Simpson's office and let him know that we're displeased with the fact that he is not standing up for his own oath of office. So why don't we head on over there?
Like, do your job, Simpson, or something like that.
That is a good point. We need to come up with something so we know it's directed at him.
Sheriff Simpson, uphold the law. Or Sheriff Simpson, protect our rights.
Open Kitsap. Sheriff Simpson.
Maybe just Sheriff, keep it simple.
Uphold your oath. Sheriff Simpson, uphold your oath.
There we go. Okay.
Where is his office?
Diagonal. Right past the court.
Are you with freedom or are you with tyranny? History will decide based on what you decide. The sheriff is the most important part of freedom in this county. And I implore you, look as a sheriff and protect your people, your oath, and your county. And God will bless you because
Hi, Sheriff. I just wanted to say, I don't know if everybody agrees, but I just wanted to say thank you and the police officers for being essential workers. You guys do not get thanked enough at all. Actually, I haven't seen one post. It's all been about nurses, which are also essential. But police officers are also essential too. We will all stand behind you if you open up Kitsap. Thank you. If I may stand on my soapbox for just a minute. I am a small business owner, like many people are in this county. I'm sure many people here are also business owners. And we need to get back to work. We have families. We need to put food on our table. We cannot wait for Inslee's plan. Is there even a plan? I don't think there is. I think we're all just winging it at this point. So we will all stand behind you. Please open up Kitsap. Yes. Anybody else have anything they want to say?
I gotta run with my notes, so if anybody wants to use it.
Okay, now's your opportunity. You have something to say. Whoever holds your peace. Raise the mic.
It won't come out. But it's that great.
All right. Just to not say. Okay, for you?
I just want to thank everybody. I gotta go. You're all awesome. Thank you. If you have any interest in praying for the situation, we're going to do that over here. Can I play a song on my way out?
Sheriff Simpson, uphold your oath. 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 Sheriff Simpson, uphold your oath.
Open Kitsap!
Sheriff Simpson, uphold your oath.
Open Kitsap, Sheriff! That's your
I
job!
wonder if Sheriff Simpson could use a reminder of what it is his oath is. Maybe we should just give him a little help. How about the Pledge of Allegiance? Yeah. Everybody? Pledge of Allegiance. Okay.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. That's your oath. Remember it.
Open the county.
Do your job, Sheriff! Open the county! If you don't know that you have the authority, maybe you should resign today. We'll accept that too.
Sheriff Simpson, it is within your authority and power to put the people of Kitsap back to work. We're asking you to stand up for your oath of office, uphold the Constitution. Do not let the governor bully you into unconstitutional actions. Simpson, Sheriff Simpson, please open Kitsap. Refuse to enforce this unlawful order. Uphold the Constitution, uphold your oath. Put Kitsap back to work.
All work is essential. All work is essential.
Everyone needs to earn a paycheck. Not everyone can work for government. And eventually, our tax money is going to run dry if you don't let us get our businesses back open. Sheriff Simpson, the people of Kitsap will back you if you stand up for them. We are asking you to lead us. Stand up for us. Protect us from the tyranny of the governor and this unconstitutional
Elected to do.
Enforce the Constitution. That is the supreme law of our land. Not unconstitutional edicts from the governor, from King County. You are the sheriff of Kitsap County. The people of Kitsap are not sick. The people of Kitsap want to work. The people of Kitsap want their liberties restored, and you have the authority and power to do that. Please stand up for us, and we will stand up for you.
That's right. That's right.
Hey Tyler, did you actually go?
Oh, they're not going to let us.
Yeah.
Really?
They're all hiding in the back.
All their doors are all locked up in Michigan.
Oh, for sure. Absolutely. Does anybody else have anything they want to say to the sheriff?